Hello, welcome back to my channel. Thank you for coming back, and as always, huge massive thank you for the support. I really do appreciate it. So coming back again with this Special Days luxury topper collection, and this one is called Home is Where the Heart Is. So basically it's all sort of new home, those sort of vibes. We've got three big toppers. We've got the cuckoo clock sort of with the little girl in saying new home. We've got one that says Home is Where the Heart Is with a young lady with a little key. And this one, she's got some flowers instead. We've got time for a big move, so it needn't necessarily be a house move. That could be somebody, you know, like it's quite popular these days for people who are remote working to even go to a different country and travel at the same time as working. So that might be quite good for that. We've got a little clock in this one with a key and heart. We've got Home Sweet Home. We've got this beautiful sort of border there. Really lovely, and silver foiling as well. So the foiled cardstock has got these pretty flowers on and the lace border at the top, and then the printed one has got the little cat on and sort of gives me sort of notebook vibes on that one. And then we've got the two inserts there as well. Okay, so let's get started on card number one. So card number one is going to be a little bit different to usual, because I want to do a pop-up centre card. So I've done these loads of times on my channel before. I just really love being able to pop it up a little bit in the middle. But because what I want to do is put this frame behind the pop-up and then have the centre popping up, I need to change the dimensions on it a little bit. So I'm still going to keep it at the 6 inches long, but I'm going to cut it to 10 inches long. So the actual card height is going to be 5 inches, but I'm going to be able to pop that up above the top, so that's going to still fit in a 6x6 envelope. That's the plan anyway. Okay, so because I'm keeping it 6 inches across, I can just go with pretty much similar measurements. So I'm putting this cardstock over to the 2-inch mark, and then I'm going to cut from 1 to 5.5, remembering I've got that shortened card now. And then I'm going to do the same on the other side, so move that over to the 2 inches, make sure that's straight, and then go from the 5.5 to the 1. What I am going to do is just these middle pieces here, so at 1 inch, and then if I turn it around that way, 1.5 inches. I'm just scoring across the middle. It's just going to be easier for me to find it on the scoreboard. The 5 inch will go all the way across, and then the 5.5 is going to be this middle piece. Okay, so let's pop that out the way for a second. We'll bring in the scoreboard. Sorry, the chair is getting creakier and creakier, and I don't want to risk going in the shed for WD-40 until I'm pretty sure the mouse or rat has moved out. So I'm going to start by just doing a 5 inch score line all the way across, and then I'm just going to find that 5.5 there, just give it a decent crease on those ones there. So it's the 1 and the 1.5, and that is how it is going to be. So now it's looking a little bit more squat than the ones we usually make. They're 6x6, so they're usually quite even. We're just going to give all of these little folds down. So now you can see it's quite a squat card. So even if you wanted a card that was 5x6, you could still use it like that, like normal. Okay, but that is the start. So now we can bring in our trimmer, and I want some silver mini mat, which is just hiding from me. Here we go. Yep. So I'm going to start by just doing these pieces here. So I'm going to do these pieces here are 2x5, So I'm just going to go 2 notches under the 2 and 2 notches under the 5. So there's 1. Going to do another one. That's that one there. And then this piece here I want to be 2, so I'm going to cut this down to 2 inches. And then I'm just going to take 2 notches off 1 inches, just to do that little bit there. It just looks a little better if you do it the exact width, because you've already got a little space at those sides, so it looks quite even. And this piece here is going to be, I believe it's 3.5 by 2. Let me just double check that. Yeah, 3.5 by 2. So I can take 2 notches off this piece here, and then I can take that to 2 notches below that 3.5. That's going to fit into there quite nicely. And then what I'm going to do just before I go any further is I'm just going to take this out. I'm going to take this frame out, and I'm just going to make sure that this is going to do what I want it to do. Otherwise it's all going to go. Before I start cutting my cardstock, probably best to just double check, because it's going to be awful if I get to the end and go, oh well, that didn't work. We've got it all cut to the wrong size. Okay, so what I'm thinking is that this is going to come all the way above here, fit over like so. So let's see, might have to just take a tiny bit off the bottom, but then obviously that topper is going to come in on top without that frame, so that's perfect, it's going to work. Okay, so that's good news. So now I can start cutting into the cardstock. I think I'm going to go with this one, the foiled cardstock. So for these pieces here, again, we're going to do another 2 notches off, so it's going to be 1 3/4 by 4 3/4. But I'm going to try and keep that silver in, like so. Now this is probably going to fit quite nicely onto there, so let's just measure that up. So it was 3.5, so it needs to be 3.25. In fact, I know that that's going to fit onto there, and a lot of it's going to be hidden, so it's just really to strengthen the card. And then I'm going to come along again, same thing, 1 3/4. So this is now, let's just have a look, 8 inches, just over 8 inches. So if you wanted to do an 8 by 8 card, you've got plenty of card left to do that. So now let's do it the right way around. I want to keep that foil. So 4 3/4, and that's going to go across there. And then this piece here, because it's not going to be long enough that way, what I'm going to do is cut a piece that is 3/4 inch, and then I just need that to be 2 notches under the 2, and that should fit onto there. And because it's just a linen texture, it's not really going to make a difference on the pattern. But if you've got a different card that you're using a different pattern on, if there is a specific pattern, just be aware of that. We've got a little piece left over there, so let's pop that behind. And now I think we are ready to come in and do some gluing. So let's just open that out. And the glues I'm going to be using, for the cardstock, I'm going to be using the Kalau Tacky Glue, which is this white one, the Kalau All-Purpose Glue, which is this alcohol-based one. It's almost identical to the construction glue that Hunkydory do. And for the smaller pieces, I will be using the dotty tape pen. It's just my favourite one to use. I have been practicing with the other tape one. Not quite confident enough on that one yet. I need to practice more, so I will be doing that. Eventually it probably will come back. Right, so let's just pop these on, just keeping these borders nice and neat. And we're going to go in. It's just such a pretty cardstock, this one as well, and I love that it's in silver. I like seeing the silver. I think the new club gift is silver as well. I got the notice it'll be spin dispatch, so hopefully I should get that maybe Friday, but we should be starting to work on that next week for sure. So let me know if you've got yours. And the brilliant thing about the free gift is, oh look, that's on the Wonder. You just have to pay the postage. So as long as you're a member of Hunkydory and it doesn't cost you anything to join, it's not like there's any subscription fee or anything. You can just sign up for free. And then I think it's every 4 months there's a new kit. I should know by now, shouldn't I? Seeing as I've been buying from them so long, but time just flies by, you lose track of things, but I'm pretty sure it's quarterly. There's a free kit and you can just buy the kit and pay for just the postage on it, or you can pay $12.99 and you get a sort of expanded kit with other bits in, inserts, usually a little book as well. Right, I think that's run out, so this is a good chance for me to show you how easy that is to replace. Right. I've got the new box here, just need to get into it. There we go. There, just pop that in, pop that down. That's going in there, that's going in recycling, and we're good to go again. Okay, so just because that other one did pop up a little bit, that one seems to be sticking a little better. But I just put some dots in the middle. Usually I find with these smaller bits of card at the moment, because it is slightly cooler in here, they do pop up a little bit because they are taking longer to dry. I think that's what the problem is, but it is a relatively new problem. But then this is the first winter that I've been in this room, so I've only recently moved here in this place. Before, everything was all in my bedroom, but I needed a place that was more accessible to me during the day, for various reasons. My bedroom is not. And that one's popping again. Come on now. So we can see how that is all coming together. So this one, definitely going to use a few more dots, and we'll use some tacky glue. And if you've got a border or something like that, you probably could just get away with putting a border along this piece rather than even matting and layering anything. There we go, that's where we are at the moment. Now what I do want to do is erase this up from that back, so while that is settling down, I'm just going to quickly cut some of those and just pop these on. And around. I think there's a new fairy kit coming up shortly on Hunkydory. I did see it on Hobby Maker the other day. It did look really nice. Everything they do is really nice, but also just going to take some of these little pips off. Yeah, okay. So what we need to do now, very carefully, and I shouldn't have put pads at the top, just realised, but I'll take those off in a minute, because that is going to come over the edge where there's no card. So when you're putting yours on, just don't put them at the top. Okay, so is there a top and a bottom? So there is less on that one, so let's just pop some tacky glue on just to give us a bit of wiggle room time. And then what we're going to do is just slip that over. That's going to be about even, so you can see what I mean about there being pads where we don't want to see them. So what I'm going to do is just peel these off like so, and I will use the glue eraser, and if that struggles, what I'll do is pop a little bit of alcohol glue on them and then use the glue eraser, and usually that takes all trace of them away. Right, where's that glue eraser? There you are. And this, it's not a lot of money, this glue eraser, but well worth sticking in your basket, because we all have moments like this where either you change your mind, or you put them, you forget, like I do all the time. Right, so here you can see there's just a little bit of residue of the glue. So what I do is just massage in a little bit of that alcohol glue, that all-purpose glue, construction glue. And then if I go in with the glue eraser, what it will then do is pick that up. Like so. And if I pick that up, so there is a little bit there which I will go and sort out in a minute, but you can see it doesn't look like there's ever been a foam pad there, so just bear that in mind, just in case, like me, you do go a little bit wrong. So just see what's going on here. Put a little bit of glue on this side as well. Let's get rid of that. Okay, so now when we open this card up, we're going to have this coming up through the centre of it. So let's grab the topper. Now I'm not going to be able to put this silver one in to make sure I line it up correctly. So what I'm going to do is just pop that down. We'll pop that up. And just going to pop onto the centre here some of these 2-inch pads. Just a nice amount to give a nice amount of lift. There, sorry if you can hear my tummy rumbling. I'm not hungry, I have eaten this. There we go. So a nice amount of glue on. And then what I'm going to do is just pop that over. Like I say, you're not going to see much of the back, so really you don't have to cover it if you don't want to. It won't fit back in when it's closed, but I'm just aiming for it to be straight when it's open. Let's go that way a little bit. Because I did float those pads quite nicely, it is Let me move this around quite a bit. Yeah, I think I'm going to go with that as it is. So again, we've got a nice little frame there. I think what I'll do is come in with some silver gems on this one. You could come in with any of the blues, orange, red, greens even. But I'm going to use some of these silver ones. Let's pop some into the lid. I don't really want the big ones quite so much. Let's see where we want these to go. So I think what I might do is have like so, and then maybe that's a bit too big, I think. There. And then there. That's moved over a little bit, but we'll live with it. Should have put more dots on. Okay, so that's where we're going. Oh, we need a sentiment as well. Where's the sentiment before we start popping that on? Oh, we'll go with an all the best, the little circle one. I think I'm going to come on this side for that. Maybe down a little further. Yes. So let's do 2mm foam powder on that one. So I'm just going to put one pad on and a little bit of glue, and that should pick up on that there. That's perfect. Okay, so let's do these pieces then. So we're going to have 1 and 2. Oops, stay there. And 1 and 2. And then we can turn that all the way around. Like I say, that border's not quite as even on that second piece here because it's moved a little bit. But I'm not going to lose any sleep over that. One of the many things I don't lose sleep over. But that is going to be our first card. So that amended size on that little pop-up centre, just to fit that frame in above. And like I say, you can still get that in a 6x6 envelope, and it's going to pop up on the window ledge, and it does fold flat, or flattish. Okay, that's card number 1, and I'm just going to get set up for card number 2. Okay, so for card number 2, I've got this like slimline card blank. It is, I think it's about 2 notches under the 4 and 8 inches long. So we're going to go with that for this one. I was hoping that the topper would come over a little bit over the sides, but I don't think it will do. But I'm still going to use it anyway. So I've got this piece of a silver mirror. So I'm going to come in, let me just check that length is over 8 it is. So I'm going to come in at 3 3/4, and then we will take that to, let's try 2 notches under the 8. Might have to take another notch off, but we'll see. Let's measure it up against the card blank itself. Oh no, that's perfect. That's perfect. Okay, then let's have a look at the card stocks that we have left. We've got that one there or that one there. Thinking we'll go with this one with the little cats along the bottom. So we're going to go, needs to be 2 notches under 3 3/4, and then I'm going to keep that decorative end, and we will go for 2 notches, no, we'll go for 7 3/4, And we'll see what that looks like. Oh, I think it looks perfect. Lovely. And I think that's all the cutting that we need to do for now. Now what I do think is if I grab my ribbon, actually let's look at the topper itself first of all. So it's going to be this one here. So we have got pink on the actual topper. Just pop her out. She is going to go along there. Well, we could, because I did say I wanted it to come over the sides, we could rotate this frame around and pop her in the middle of it. Let's see what that looks like. Okay, so I will pop this really fine silver one out. And then what I'll probably do is cut this down so that we're going to have those little ones in the middle. Yes, liking that. I'm thinking, why not just keep it super simple? We'll go for that nice big sentiment there. I was thinking about maybe a bit of ribbon in the corner. So I've got my favourite pink ribbon. It's a real nice candy pink, this one. I will be super sad when this one goes, because the one that I bought to replace it on a roll is nowhere near the same colour. I'm thinking maybe come along there, or we could go along that inside. Or the top, the bottom. We'll go, I think, the bottom, as soon as I'm determined to use that. Right, let's get some gluing done. Okay, so we are going to start by popping this on. And obviously all these cards will have the insert in as much as I can. Sometimes when I have to make 5, then obviously there might be one that doesn't have the insert in, but when there is just 4, they all do get inserts. And it's just decided to move a little bit. Now I'm thinking, shall I go along there? I might leave this ribbon off and just do a bow. I think it's too much. Okay. So I know it annoys some people that they like to see something that's planned from beginning to end, but this is me playing with the cardstock and seeing what comes out. The sneak peek videos I do tend to be more prepared, more thought out, with a clear process and journey. These cards are generally just thinking about the cardstock and seeing what comes out at the end. So apologies if you find that somewhat irritating to see me change things up, but that's just the way I work with these. So I'm just going to pop some tacky glue on the middle parts of here, and that's going to go, actually you need to just check. Yeah, so I'm going to go on that 4th line down. And then we just want that to be nice and even. I'm just using my mat to sort of gauge where that is. And then this one here, I'm going to cut it down the middle and cut about 1 centimetre off. And then what we're going to do is just use some tacky glue again and pop that back in, but a little bit further in, so it looks like we've used another frame. Like so. And that's the beautiful thing about these frames. Just because they come as a frame doesn't mean it has to be a frame. You can cut into it, chop it up, make it a corner. You know, you can do whatever you want with it. It's just cardstock at the end of the day. Pretty cardstock, but cardstock. Okay, so I'm just trying to make that gap around about the same. I think that needs to go down just a little bit. And then this one is going to come across here. And I think we'll go with some 1mm pads. And just put them across the middle just so that they're not interfering with any of those frames. Could go higher, you could go 2, 3, 4, whatever you like. Whatever you like. And also, if you wanted to, you could go more left, you could go more right, however you feel. Now, I feel like she's on the wonk a little bit. So let's just lift you up a little. No, you need to stay. And just straighten her up a little bit. There we are. And then this one, I'm going to go quite high. I'm going to go with the 2mm on this one, just to try and get it away from that background a bit. If you think it's a little bit too busy and you want to do this design, what you could do is take a little bit of vellum, pop it across there. If you've got the acetate wraps with the sentiment on, you could use that, and then you would have the benefit of both the sentiment and the design behind. Again, if you wanted to mute it down, you could always use a little bit of vellum. So let's pop that in like so. Now I'm going to take this bit of ribbon and I'm going to pop a bow on the top. So, oops. So over, around, under and through, and then just pull that nice and tight. That's an old Glitter Girls bow maker, but I know Hunkydory have one with pegs that you can move so you can vary the sizes, which I would 100% be going for if I didn't already have that one. So I'm going to pop a little bit of glue on. You could use glue dots, pinfair glue, however you like to stick your bows on. I tend to find that all-purpose glue, no, tacky glue, it does work, but you do need to give it a little bit of time. Now, thinking about gems, I'm thinking maybe some lovely red ones, if I have got a nice bright red. I think I have in these. Yeah, we've got a bright red there, look. So let's go with these. And you could go red, blue, again silver, could even go brown. You've got leopard print in there, look. So plenty of colours you could use gem wise. But I'm going to put 1, 2 and 3, and then I'm going to go all the way down to the bottom. 1 and 2, and then I'm just going to gently turn that around. You can see that bow is moving, which is not ideal. I need to let that sit for a little while. But what I'm going to do is just take a small one and we'll pop it on that line there, a larger one, and because you've got that sort of lined paper effect, it really does help to get that all in the same place on both sides. That is going to be that second finished card. I do feel like that's still on a bit of a wonk, so I might have a go at rectifying that in a minute, but for now that is that finished card. Like I say, just needs an insert, and then we're going to bring that one in. Oh, and the card size, it would be 8 by 6 would be the card envelope that you need for that one. But that's it for today, so thank you so much for watching. I'll be back again. I think there's 2 more left to do in this kit, and then we'll move on to that free kit, which will be here. I've got dispatch notice, so it won't be here tomorrow, it'll be here the day after. But until next time, thanks for watching and happy crafting. Bye.